So, hello everyone, and welcome to another discussion with CAD toppers and CAD toppers with Prepzone. And today we have with us Shashank, who's converted IIM Ahmedabad. So we'll be discussing how Shashank went about with his journey, right from CAD preparation to GD preparation, GDPI preparation, to finally cracking the interviews. And hopefully it can benefit you all as well. So, guys, do take notes to understand what it takes and how you need to go about your journey to make CAT a success for you. So, hi Shashank, welcome. Welcome to this chat.
Yeah. Hi, Ashwas. Thanks for having me here. Uh,
The pleasure is
so,
ours.
yeah.
And congratulations on making it to IIM Ahmedabad.
Thanks,
College.
Ashwas. Thank
कैसा
you.
लग रहा है? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling very happy because I've always wanted to actually convert my best college. I've always wanted to study in a college which I've always dreamt of. When the results came out, my Ahmedabad result was waitlisted. I was waitlisted at 16 in general category, and then the next day only I was rejected by IIM Bangalore. So
Okay.
it was very tough for me. Just 15 days of anxious wait, and then I finally got the news that I've been admitted to offered admission to IIM Ahmedabad. So it's a very, very, very happy feeling. And yeah.
So, if you could just
So
tell everyone that how much was your CAT score, what is your background, how much was your CAT score, and if you've attempted CAT earlier.
yeah, sure. So my percentile was 99.52, and I am a general engineering male guy. And when it comes to ACADS, I had 93 in 10th, 91 in 12th, and 80.3 in undergrad. Plus, I have 34 months of work in analytics industry, which includes Wipro and Meesho. So this is pretty much all the background, my educational background and my work that's there. And when it comes to my attempts, so I graduated in 2017 from BIT Merachi. I had triple. So for the first time I appeared in my college final year. I had scored 95 and I hadn't prepared much for it. So I thought it was a very, walk in the park kind of thing. Like it's very easy to crack a exam like CAT. So, but I was not sure of going, for an MBA then. So I dropped the idea. Plus, I did not get any calls because again VRC was below 80 that time also. Next year I appeared for it. Again, I had just started my job and I had no plans of going for MBA, but I had just appeared the exam. Let's see how it goes. There I scored a 93. I was worried a bit then because it started decreasing. The third time, I had actually put in some effort. I actually spent some 50,000 rupees in XYZ Coaching Institute, where I thought that I'll be having the classes and then it would benefit me and achieve my goal. But to be honest, I lacked consistency and determination on my part as well. Plus, I hadn't prepared the the kind of dedication that is actually required was missing there. I had appeared for and my weakest section is VRC. It had because the last two times same story. VRC section was not clear. The third time I prepared for 3 months, but miracles happens to those who actually work for it. So my CAT percentile dropped to 90.61 in CAT 2019 after preparing for 3 months. I was shattered. It was very tough for me. But and I was like, "ठीक है, अभी we'll see next year." So 2020 was pretty much the last attempt. I was just sure that I'll be giving one more shot at CAT, and if not, then I'll be looking for other options because I had this thing clear in my mind that I want to do an MBA going forward. So this was the last attempt. A friend of mine had actually joined the GDPI course last year, and he had enrolled this year's CAT preparation course. So he advised me to actually join this because he was actually liking it. And I also, for the first time, consulted Shubham Ranka sir that for the first time. And I gave him all the background, my academic background and my work ex and all. So he just said me that, dude, you have everything you need to go to a top B school. You just need a decent CAT score. That's it. But it's easier said than done. So I decided to enroll with Prepzone. I enrolled with Prepzone in May 2020. And then I started preparing with Prepzone only. I started attending classes. So basically, I benefited a lot from the quants class. The Krishna sir, he taught quants, superb quant. He had those approaches and techniques which I loved the most. When it comes to LRDI, Sham sir was also very great. He actually touched upon various different kinds of set, which is actually, you actually need to first brush up all the different categories of LRDA that are there, and then you can go for mixed bag practice. You can go and attempt sectionals, but you need to first get your basics clear initially only. So that helped me a lot. For VRC, I would say it's a very personal opinion that I have there. There are many mentors who actually, teach how to actually crack VRC and how to choose the right or wrong option. But for me, I think it's more about the practice because because I really, I was very bad at VRC. And so I formed a group of 4 people that was there. I had Rahul Aftans, Ranjan Rajvi, Rojasvi Agarwal, and Ishan Mohan, these guys. So we actually formed a group, and we started solving past year mocks. So we all had issues with VRC, and Ishan had a pretty good VRC. So he would guide us sometimes, but he was sometimes very busy. So in the later stage of our preparation, we were
Just sorry to stop you there. First, I'd like to understand from your journey. Like this is your CAT 2020 journey, but like you attempted CAT 3 times before. So
yeah.
first, I want to understand the motivation of going for the fourth attempt before we get into the CAT 2020 journey.
Sure,
Like,
sure.
like your score was decreasing, and if I were to plot a graph, so from 95 to 93 to 90. So the graph did point out that you're doing something wrong. So how did you identify that this is what you're doing wrong and this is what you need to change probably? So first, how did you first make up your mind for fourth attempt?
Sure. So I would say the first 2 attempts, that 2017 and 18, it was pretty casual attempts. I
Mhm,
had, just appeared for CAT because I was not really sure of going for an MBA because one was my final year and the other one I had just joined the job.
mhm,
So I just wanted to have some work ex and then appear for CAT. My first serious attempt was uh, like, I may call it serious, but my preparation and my efforts were not at all serious again.
okay, okay.
So 2019 was the first serious attempt that I was looking forward to. But I failed miserably, and but I knew the reasons why I failed in that attempt. I had appeared for just 6 mocks. I did not work on my weak section, which was
Mhm,
VRC. I did nothing to improve that. I was hoping for a miracle to happen. That doesn't happen,
mhm,
to be honest. In an exam like CAT, I did not solve different modules. I was just, I think 6 mocks pretty much says everything about it, because if you are actually a serious CAT aspirant looking to make it to a top B school, 6 mocks is actually very, very, very less. And if you have been solving sectional, then also it's fine. But in my case, I was doing nothing. So I had just, enrolled in some institute, and that, just a bogus feeling that, yeah, I am doing something. It was just like I was not faithful to myself.
mhm.
So I knew why I had failed that time, and it was, an eye opener for me because my percentile had dipped to a very low level. So that is, I was pretty sure that I had to do an MBA, and I just thought I'll give one more attempt uh, for it. And I was pretty serious this time. That is why I opted for, a different coaching where I could actually get a smaller batch size, good peer group to learn from, where actually the guys are very serious about the preparation. People, so when the mentor knows you or the teacher knows you on a personal basis, that helps a lot. So, if a mentor is teaching to some 1,000 odd guys, so that it's very difficult, because different people have different problems and you can't solve everything in just a 2 hour video that's going on or the class that's going on. So that was my motive to actually join a coaching that would understand my need and then help me work accordingly, and help me plug the gaps that were there, and the mistakes, help me amend my mistakes that I had made last year. So that is how I made up my mind for a serious attempt, and that is why I attempted CAT 2020.
So when did you start preparing for CAT 2020? When did you start that?
So I started preparing during. So I started late April 2020, but I joined Prepzone in May, like May last week of May, I guess. And then from there, it was I was attending the quants classes and the classes and for and the practice assignments and all. So pretty much it started from there only.
Understood. So then what was your strategy? You joined, you made up your mind about CAT first. Then you decided to not repeat the mistakes from last year. You took a fresh approach. You joined Prepzone. Then what was your approach after joining Prepzone? So you mentioned
So after So after joining Prepzone, the first thing, the first thing I had in my mind is I would not shy away from the topics which I'm afraid of. To be honest, I was afraid of set theory and Venn diagram, and I had never studied that topic. And in CAT 2019, there was a very sitter set which I missed, and everybody solved it. I felt very bad, and so I made up my mind. जिससे डर लगता है सबसे पहले उसको ही पढ़ेंगे. So because I should have ample amount of time to actually practice it, and if not excel at it, maybe get it to a decent level. So that is why I started with it. So LRDI also, I did not have a good hold on it. So there is this guy Ranjan. He's my like batchmate from Pepzone only. He has superb LRDI. And he right from day one, he has been very helpful. He has been posting LRDI sets for everyone in the Prepzone group to solve. He would solve it and motivate others as well to solve it, and he would motivate, like, we should do this, we have a daily target to complete this. So I had as I told you, I had a small group of 4 people, including me. Ranjan, he was the LRDI guy. Rahul Aftans, he was the VRC guy, and third, Ojasvi Agarwal, he was the quants guy. So I had these brilliant guys to at my disposal who would help me whenever I would I was stuck somewhere, because these guys had a good grip of these 3 sections, to be honest, individually. So we prep together to share our knowledge and make everyone learn everything so that we could excel together. So that was the whole plan. Krishna sir class and Shyam sir classes helped a lot. VRC, I told you, we used to solve 2 sections from the past year mocks daily. We would connect every day over Zoom call at 11 or 12, and you would discuss the whole why did you mark this option, why did you mark this option, why did you not mark this option. So I emphasized on the part that it's important to actually eliminate the options rather than choosing the right one, because when the question is tricky, it actually helps and you get a clear understanding about it. So gradually my VRC started improving from there, and so that was pretty much all about it.
So I can say that you first did a kind of an analysis that what's working for you. So you decided that, okay, these are the areas which I need to improve upon, and you attacked them first. So you had the luxury of time in April, May, June.
Yeah.
Once you started improving upon them through regular practice, daily practice, and not just practice, you also started analyzing that what you were doing right and why you were doing right. I mean, that is really important, because you might have marked the correct option, but with the incorrect logic. So you were also checking why the other options were not correct. So that brings us that after you've done that, I'm thinking that you probably started giving mocks. So last time in 2019, you had given only 6 mocks. So did that change this time?
So I appeared for, I'm not really sure about the number, but it was something around 55. this time because I had all the mocks. I had enrolled for IMCAT, SIMCAT, CL, and CRACU. And so I told you my small study group. So we had a target. We used to attempt the same mocks
Okay.
every day. We had a routine that we'll be attempting this mock, and then we used to discuss how did it go, what all shortcomings were there. So see, mock is something which I think aspirants should start from a very early stage of preparation, because this is a very big myth that first you need to complete your syllabus and then start appearing for mocks. I think the ideal time for starting mocks is August starting, because August, September, October, it's 3 months, and you have to make the most of this time, because syllabus is like mostly it's completed till August. So there you can actually start attempting mocks and then analyzing your mistakes, because when you start attempting mocks, you actually know where is there any logical fallacy there, or in the when you are solving RCs or something like that, or maybe you are just struggling with time format, or just the exam pressure that it is a mock, actually it's a mock, you have a timer there. So all these things I think is pretty much taken care by the mocks. So
From what
mocks needs to be, yeah.
from what I understand correctly, these mocks help you develop your strategy. You can try out different tips and tricks in these mocks.
Yeah.
Try out different methods of solving the paper, not just the paper, but within the sections also, how you're attempting RC, whether you're attempting RC first or the other parts first, even in quant, how you're going about it. So, and of course, the exam pressure. So these mocks help to streamline you, yourself, your body, your mind towards taking the actual exam. So not just
Yeah.
that, but the analysis of mock, which you said, that is also very
Yeah.
important. So roughly how much time were you spending, like if you were giving a 3 hour mock, how much time were you spending analyzing it?
Yeah, so I would mostly spend, some 2.5 hours, 2.5 hours for analysis. Now
Mhm.
it depends like how did my mock go. If my mock, I did really bad, so I had to give extra time. Uh, I had this notebook in which I used to write all the cons concept and the questions that I was not able to solve. So every time I appeared for a mock, I pinpointed the questions that I was not able to solve these questions. So when you think that you will just read the solutions and then you'll remember it, it doesn't work that way. To be
Mhm.
honest, at least for me, it did not work that way. So what I used to do was I used to maintain a notebook. I used to write all the concepts or some tricks or shortcuts that were taught to me, or in the mocks you would actually come across very brilliant solutions. The solutions that are actually provided for maybe quant question, it's brilliant. So I used to write that, and then I used to revise that on maybe a 10-day or 15-day basis. So sometimes I use some concept which just strike my mind. Okay, I had written this in my notebook, this is how I need to approach this question to maybe minimize the time or maybe solve it altogether. So that was my plan in LRDI also. This pretty much the same thing. I used to look at the solutions, and mostly I used to categorize it by the type of LRDA set that was like, is it a game, games and tournaments, and set theory. And so in SimCAT you would get an option to actually categorize it. You would just click on the games and tournaments and then you could solve all the sets. So that was my strategy. And VRC, see, for me, I told you I had no grasp on it. So I needed to analyze VRC with my peer group only. So with that small group, I used to analyze that with the solutions and with the different opinions of the group I was preparing with. It helped me a lot. Yeah.
Peer group and the analysis, and like you rightly said, that sometimes your solution might not be the best solution. It might be taking more time for you to solve it, but there might be some other brilliant solutions which the people who have designed the mocks are able to provide you with. So analysis of mocks is very important, and not just your wrong questions but the right questions also. You need to understand whether you're doing it in the optimum way or not. So
Yeah,
that
sure.
helps. And the other thing that you rightly pointed out, that the peer group is definitely very, very helpful. So you have
Yeah,
people
yeah.
working with you towards the same goal. So you work with each other and take each other along with you. So that definitely helps a lot. So I think Shashank, anything else you want to say about CAT? Because here we are here to discuss how you improved upon your CAT score. GDPI maybe we'll keep for some other time, but if you could just give us some
Sure.
words that
Yeah.
how should people go about it.
Yeah, sure. So one important thing I would like to share: never get disheartened from your mock score. I know because I have been, I have been in that place in which the aspirants are right now,
Mhm.
and it's easier for anyone to say don't worry, but I know the feeling. It doesn't matter if the someone on the screen is saying me to don't worry, everything will work fine, but the aspirant only knows how tough it is to keep a positive approach when it's not going the way he wants it,
Yeah.
or he or she wants it to go. uh, don't let the mock scores bother you. My CAT score was the best ever percentile that I've scored till now. I had never scored a 99.52 in my entire journey. The maximum I had scored was a 99.2. I had crossed 99 mark for just 4 times in my entire 58 mocks. So don't let your mock score, define you, and just keep working, and just be honest to yourself. Don't be afraid of any particular area, because that will definitely come back to haunt you if you are just skipping a part. So weak areas, just prepare for them first, make them at least not the best, at least to a decent level, that okay, if a easy question comes in the exam, then you are able to do something with it. If it's an average question or a decent question, everybody will do it. You will lose that 3 marks or any number of questions just because you thought that it is tough and I won't be doing it. So that I would say it's the bottom line kind of thing. Like, just keep working for it. That's it.
All right, Shashank. Thank you for those words. Thank you for joining us on a Saturday evening. That was very,
Yeah.
very inspirational, especially after three attempts and with the scores going down. You kind of turned it around and turned it around so well that you've managed to go to IIM Ahmedabad, the best college.
I have
Yes,
few
yes,
things
sir.
to add here.
Yeah,
So
sure.
Thanks. Yes, sir.
Shashank is Shashank is very approachable guy, and whenever you talk with, he's very soft. He will not never be angry. Whenever I have seen that something is not wrong, so he had tried to control himself, and he's also taking the BIT Mesa and Prepzone legacy to IIM Ahmedabad, because in our first batch, Arushi joined Ahmedabad. Then next year, Anu Bansal joined, and this year he is joining. So this is the third time someone who came to us from VIT Misra, and we have mentored him. So that is the legacy he has to carry, and like he has huge shoes to fill also, because those two ladies have achieved really big. I know that which company they are joining or where they are interning. So all the best, Shashank, and be in touch.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. Yeah, thanks for making it happen, sir. Thanks a lot.
All right, Prashant, thank you for those kind words. And Shashank, all the best to you. Do well. And yeah, do carry forward the legacy.
Yeah, sure, sir. Sure. I'll try my best.
Okay,
Thanks. Thanks a lot.
guys, thank you.